Good morning. Just a little technical difficulty. Nothing our ace AV guy can't handle. So welcome. Yeah. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. My name is Tony Fisher. I'm so happy to be here as minister and grateful for you. I wanted to sort of give my thanks to all the folks who are seasonal. I know I'm a couple of weeks late for some, but I also know that a few of you are departing within the next week or two or three. And I just wanted to express on behalf of those who live here year-round our deep thanks to all of you for the energy and life you bring into this congregation every year. Whether you arrive in, we can't hear out on the pavilion. Our ace AV person will be right out. Mike Kirko's headed out there. That should handle it. Okay, anyway, thank you. My gratitude extending to all those folks who depart at some point and return later on to just give us life. So thank you. We do have fun while you're gone. So if you're considering full-timeship, we're here year-round. But anyway, thank you all. And I'm always grateful for my worship associates today. We have the joy of having Patty Bryan with us. Good morning.
Thank you. Let me add my welcome to all of you, old friends and new, as we come together in community. We're especially thankful for those of you who are with us for the first, second, or third time, or the 10th, it doesn't matter. We hope that you find comfort, connection, and love right here. Please join us after the service for coffee and conversation out on the pavilion. If you're new, or even if you're not, the statement on the back of your orders of service speaks well to those things that we hold as important. Our goal is, as individuals and as a community, is to take those affirmations and make them part of our daily lives. Today, we will be discussing our home planet, the Earth. Though we tend to take it for granted, it really is remarkable in many, many ways. For instance, 99% of all species that existed on Earth are now extinct. Yeah, that's scary. We humans should be thankful that we're still around. In addition, we should be grateful that we don't live in the driest place on Earth. Sometimes we're worried about this being too wet a place, but dry valleys in Antarctica has seen no rainfall for the past 2 million years. It is an 1,853 square mile region with no ice, no snow, no water. So we can thank heavens for our water. And we are all traveling around the sun at an average velocity of 66,600 miles per hour. At the same time, we are spinning at an enormous speed, up to 1,000 miles per hour, depending on our position on Earth. So with all that information, let's relax and settle ourselves into this time of worship.
I have one quick word about this. This is a Brandi Carlile song that was written actually for a Sesame Street episode last year. And so you can picture Abby in a Big Bird costume and Dave in a Snuffleupagus costume. I think it'll maybe counteract the idea that we're hurtling through space at that speed. All right. 2, 3, 4. When I feel a gentle breeze, hearing whistling through the trees, when I greet the green, green grass beneath my feet, or see a butterfly in flight, floating in the warm sunlight, when I taste a summer berry and it's so, so very sweet, I feel so lucky that you and me get to live in this beauty. When I see the nature all around me, when I feel as peaceful as can be, clouds roll by and happiness surrounds me. It's in my nature to love nature naturally. La da da dee da, la da 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 dee da. It's in my nature to love nature naturally. When I hear a sweet bird song, I just got to sing along. When I see the glow of stars that shine above, when I'm in a field of flowers, I can stay for hours and hours. Nature has so much that we all get to love. When I see the nature all around me, then I feel as peaceful as can be. Clouds go by and happiness surrounds me. It's in my nature to love nature naturally. It's in my nature to love nature naturally.
N is for nature. We gather this day with loving hearts, hands, and minds, embracing the interconnected web of water, air, and earth. We light a fire of sustaining hope, ever bright with love and justice. May we bring forth on this day new wisdom, strength, and courage to create a new world, not of wealth, but of well-being, to build a new peace with abundance and justice for all. Let us take this time together to celebrate the earth, our shared and singular home, and may we rededicate ourselves to its ongoing care, rising to the call deep within us and all around us with courage and with love. Let's join in the chalice lighting. You'll see on your screen. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission, to be truly welcoming, to grow in mind and spirit, and to widen the circle of peace, justice, and love. And let's rise in body or spirit and sing our opening hymn. It's number 21 in the gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of night. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thought and mild. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
In January of 1969, the nation witnessed the ravages of a massive oil spill off the Santa Barbara coast in California. Inspired by the student anti-war movement, Senator Gaylord Nelson, the junior senator from Wisconsin, and long had been concerned about the deteriorating environment, he saw this as an opportunity to infuse the energy of the student anti-war protests with an emerging public consciousness about air and water and pollution. And he brought forward the idea for a teach-in on college campuses. He brought it up to the national media, and he persuaded Republican Pete McCloskey, a conservative-minded congressman, to serve as his co-chair. He also recruited Dennis Hayes, a young activist, to organize the campus teach-ins and to scale the idea to the broader public. They chose April 22nd, a weekday falling between spring break and final exams, to maximize the greatest student interest. Recognizing its potential to inspire all Americans, Hayes built a national organization to promote events across the land, and the effort soon broadened it to include a wide range of organizations, faith groups, and others. They changed the name to Earth Day, which immediately sparked public and media interest. Earth Day inspired 20 million Americans at that time, 10% of our population, to take to the streets, parks, and auditoriums to demonstrate against the impacts of 150 years of industrial development, which had left a growing legacy of serious human health impacts. Earth Day in 1970 achieved a rare success. Republicans and Democrats, rich and poor, urban dwellers and farmers, business people and laborers all joined that day. There were certainly many that didn't show up, certainly many that had their doubts about the day. But by the end of 1970, the first Earth Day had led to the creation of the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the passage of other first-of-their-kind environmental laws, including the National Environmental Education Act, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, and the Clean Air Act. 2 years later, Congress passed the Clean Water Act. It was a rare success. but as we all know, not necessarily a lasting one. At the end of that first Earth Day in 1970, respected news reporter Walter Cronkite suggested that we were being asked to sacrifice in ways that no people had been asked to sacrifice in peacetime. And he wondered if we could do it. While some progress continues to be made, and certainly many advances have been made, the overall answer is pretty clear. The environment is now a divisive, partisan issue. Pushback has come from just about every arena, and even people who participated on that day didn't necessarily believe that the warnings were directed to them as well, for our consumer-oriented lifestyle has only increased. On that day, Cronkite uttered some prescient words that still ring true. He said, "We have yet to find wisdom about our relationship with the earth." I'm very wobbly today. Many ways. Anyway, there's a story told by the 12th century Persian theologian and mystic Al-Ghazali, who was a contemporary of Omar Khayyam, and also one of the most prominent and influential of Muslim philosophers. The story goes that Al-Ghazali, as a young man, traveled to the capitals of learning to gain his education. He pursued his studies enthusiastically for many years and acquired knowledge from teachers who he revered. In order not to forget or lose the fruits of his labors, he always took notes, copious notes. And when he had completed a course of study, he bound those notes into pamphlets. He treasured those notes as dearly as he treasured his own life. Years later, after completing his studies, or at least as much as he could have done at that time, he decided to return to his home. So he packed up all his notes, tied them into a bundle, and set forth in the company of a caravan towards home. Caravans were the safest way to travel in those days, but unfortunately, this one came up against a large band of thieves. And they held up the caravan and took anything of value they could find. And eventually they got to Ghazali, and as they laid their hand on his bundle of notes, Ghazali began lamenting and pleading, and he said, "Take whatever I have, but please leave this bundle for me." Of course, the thieves certainly thought that there was something very precious inside the bundle. They untied it and found nothing but a handful of written papers. "What are these, and what use are they?" one of the thieves asked. "Whatever they may be, they would be of no use to you, but they are of great value to me," said Ghazali. "But what value, then, are they to you?" And Ghazali said, "These are the fruits of my hard labor over many, many years of study. If you take them from me, my knowledge will perish, and all the years of my struggles in the way of knowledge will have been in vain." "So," the thief said, "your knowledge lies amongst these papers?" "Yes," said Ghazali. And the thief said, "Knowledge which is in a bundle and vulnerable to theft is no knowledge at all. You need to reevaluate your life, friend." Well, this remark shook Ghazali to the depths of his vigilant soul. He realized that until that day, he had been no better than a parrot, jotting down on paper all that he had heard from his teachers. And Ghazali wrote later, "The best advice I have ever received, which became the model of my intellectual life from then on, came from a highway thief." And he vowed in that moment to consider more deeply the things he learned, to train his mind through reflection and contemplation, to pursue research and consider different and alternative points of view, to reflect again and find deeper connections. He wanted more than knowledge. He wanted to gain wisdom. For Al-Ghazali, wisdom was the deepest or highest form of understanding. We are born into this world with some amazing capacities. And if we are lucky and have good mentors, we develop our senses and our reasoning so that we can better discern what's going on around us and build an ever-broadening understanding of relationship and depth. But wisdom, true wisdom, comes only after time when we can take the breadth of knowledge we have gained, consider how it has come to us, how we can apply it in the moment, how it might expand out into the future, the sum of our intellect, but filtered through yet one more lens, the lens of humility. When we can take ourselves out of any equation, we can begin to see things whole. For Al-Ghazali, the peace lesson was not only an intellectual one, it was a spiritual one as well. Ghazali was a mystic, but whatever he had experienced before was nothing compared to the insights he gained following his interrupted journey home. He was able to see relationships he would never have seen, understand relationships at a greater depth, and know they were all connected, a unity of things. Ghazali, when he was able to connect with that unity, called it the One, an utterly simple, ineffable, knowable and unknowable subsistence which is both the creative source and the purpose of all living things. Wisdom born from that larger sense, that additional view, is a wisdom that finds us within the cosmos as an active player, but not as the most important one. Let's remain seated and sing our centering hymn, We Would Be One. It's number 318 in the gray hymnal.
We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. A nobler world in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service with love and justice, strive to make us free.
We come together in this time of community to share those things that are in our deepest hearts, those joys, those sorrows that we all feel at various times in our life. We consider today the life of Pope Francis, a person who brought so much love into his role, who connected to so many people, who found a way to connect across divides and understood the difficulty of doing so. but still worked hard at that. A gentle man, a simple man, a man who eschewed the wealth of the church to try very hard to live a simple life. We honor him on this day. If you have a joy or a sorrow you would like to share, please raise your hand. I'll bring you the microphone. Tell us your name and briefly what's in your heart.
My name is Dina Sewell, and I have the great joy of introducing our great niece, Nora, who came from Norway to stay with the old people. And she lowered the average age of this congregation dramatically. But the best thing is that when she was a newborn, I held her and I talked to her about when she was going to come and visit her tante in America. And here she is.
There she is. Never to return again. Welcome. Anyone else? Oh, good morning.
Since this is about Earth Day today, I'm going to tell you a story about my roommate from college is the international director of Earth Day all around the world. And she's very close to the Pope, or she was. And he wrote an encyclical on climate and believed very deeply in honoring the Earth. And the irony is he died like right before Earth Day this year. So she was flying to Rome to celebrate Earth Day in Italy, and of course he died. But it's a power of one man who actually made a difference regarding environment.
Great. Thank you, Joanne. Anyone else? Yep. Where? Nope, sorry.
My name is Jane Graham, and yesterday I had the pleasure of spending most of the day with my 5-year-old granddaughter and talk about wisdom. We were reading a story, and at the end of it, I looked at her and I said that some things were really important, like food, shelter, and clothing. And she sort of pondered that, and I said, is there anything else that you can think of that's really important? And her first word was, well, Band-Aids. And then I said, well, think of them as like clothing for your boo-boos. Okay. And then she said, oh, well, yeah, breathing is very important. And then she said, and so is light and dark, because light makes you happy. Dark makes you sad, but you need both.
Oh my gosh.
And then we just played something else.
Thank you.
I would just, Robin Petty, I would just like to add a footnote to something Tony mentioned earlier in the context of Earth Day, and that is about Senator Gaylord Nelson of Wisconsin. Senator Nelson was responsible for the creation of the Apostle Islands National Park. It's a national lake shore, but in essence it's a national park. And in the 1960s, he worked through the Congress to create this group of 22 islands as a park, which otherwise would surely have been developed into a tourist area. So we have this little-known archipelago in Lake Superior, which sits out there in all its beauty, little known to most people. And Gaylord Nelson, actually, it was one of the last things that President Kennedy ever did, was to come up and inaugurate the existence of this new park. So Senator Nelson goes down as surely one of the truly great environmentalists in the history of the United States.
Thanks, Robert. Okay, one last, anything else? Thank you. Thank you all for your sharing, for joys and for sorrows unspoken. We honor each of you, each of us, knowing that we go through times of great sorrow and times of great joy. And we are together in all of those times. Let's join in the spirit of meditation. Taking a deep breath and considering this place where we live, the land we live on, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the paths we walk. This flat land dotted by ponds and crossed by canals, rivers and sloughs. The gardens that give us healing green, the flowers that give us their beauty and fragrance. The growing fields that give us our daily produce. The stars that show us our place in the universe. The wilderness and the tame backyards, all of it home. We remember the ancestors who have lived on this land and who have shaped it. The Calusa, the Seminole, the Miccosukee, the traders, the early settlers, the dreamers, the builders, the vacationers, the workers, the leaders. We inherit all their choices. We honor the animals and creatures that have made their home on this land, the ones here now and the ones that used to be here. And we envision the future generations who will live on this land. And let their voices fill our hearts. We gather here to remember that this is our home, but not just ours. Let's spend some time in silence.
Thich Nhat Hanh is a Buddhist monk at Plum Village, a community of mindful living near Bordeaux, France. It's a mindfulness practice center and Buddhist monastery. And here's what he writes. The bells of mindfulness are calling out to us, trying to wake us up, reminding us to look deeply at our impact on the planet. The bells of mindfulness are sounding. All over the earth, we are experiencing floods, droughts, massive wildfires. Sea ice is melting in the Arctic, and hurricanes and heat waves are killing thousands. The forests are fast disappearing. The deserts are growing. Species are becoming extinct every day. And yet, we continue to consume, ignoring all of the ringing bells. All of us know that our beautiful green planet is in danger. Our way of walking on the earth has great influence on animals and plants, yet we act as if our daily lives have nothing to do with the condition of the world. We're like sleepwalkers, not knowing where we're going or where we're heading. Whether we can wake up or not depends on whether we can walk mindfully on our Mother Earth. The future of all life, including our own, depends on our mindful steps. We have to hear the bells of mindfulness that are sounding all across the planet. We have to start learning how to live in a way that the future will be possible for our children and our grandchildren.
Open your heart to the sound of the planet, her seas, and her granite, these green fields of home. Hush, you will hear she is trying to speak. You will hear she is crying, so please open your mind to the challenge before us, her air and her forests, the balance of life. Hush, better stop our denying. We've lost something beautiful's dying. So open your heart to the sound of the planet, her seas, and her granite, these green fields of home. Hush, you will hear she's trying to speak. You will hear she's crying. So please open your hand to the work of reclaiming the sacred. We're naming the power within. Honor the ones come before us, and yes, learn to sing as a chorus. So open your heart to the song of the planet, her seas, and her granite, these green fields of home. Hush, it's to us she is trying to speak. We will hear she is crying through me and through you.
This is our Earth. A small speck in a universe that began as a singularity, a oneness, that if we are lucky, we can occasionally still intuit, feel, glimpse. A oneness that many try to name. This is our Earth, our place in the cosmos. It spins and circles a nondescript star on the outer fringes of what we call the Milky Way galaxy, one of 100 billion galaxies in the universe. Yet we don't know if there's another place quite like it. Already rotating with the galaxy at an incredible speed, the Earth circles our sun at 66,000 miles an hour, all the while spinning like a top. Yet we can sit in our seats here in this sanctuary and feel that everything is still. This is our Earth, born of fire, cooled and condensed over millennia, but with a surface crust that still dives and lifts into the sky as it moves over a mantle of hot magma, and with a core that is as hot as the surface of the sun. And this is our Earth. With its thin protective atmosphere, a water planet with oceans covering much of its surface, oceans that were the cradle of life and which are still home to about a quarter of the 9 million unique species living and swimming and moving about our planet. Each species depending on something other than itself to survive. Each an important part of an ecosystem that is linked to other ecosystems, which are part of an interdependent web, part of the ecosphere known as Earth. Our Earth, but not really ours. We only part of a whole, a oneness that exists interdependently in which we could equate to a beautifully intricate organism. Some call it Gaia, after the primordial goddess of Earth in Greek mythology, mother of all life. And yet we latecomers to this party, have for too long been acting as if the rules of nature don't apply to us. Where we once lived in harmony with the natural world and looked to the cosmos for meaning, we have now become a cancer within this organism, a rogue cell growing too fast, indiscriminately inflicting damage, disrupting fragile systems that aren't even ours to disrupt. It is time. It's time to heal ourselves and find the humble wisdom we need to see ourselves in a different light and find the courage and the will to change, to turn from cancer to antibody, fighting pathogens, maintaining balance, fostering sustainability. We need to see that our place is being within this organism and not outside of it. To nurture and care for ourselves, yes, but for the health of the whole. We need to consider, as the indigenous people do, with great hope and love, the lives of those yet to come, so that our earth, our place, can become their place. And we think not just of human lives. We need to restore our relationship with the earth and all that live on it now, and learn once again how to live in harmony with those other 9 million species and the land and the water that are essential for life. With every decision we make, every minute of every day, each and every one of us, even within the comfort of our own secure homes, must let our prayers become our deeds and our deeds become our prayers for this beautiful green-blue planet and the interdependent web of which we are but a part.
Oh. Do they play first? The offering that we take each Sunday is an opportunity for each of us to recommit to this place and to all of the people here. It is as much a ritual as singing together and lighting our chalice. It's a reminder of that form of love which we call generosity. It's your financial contributions support our mission to grow intellectually and spiritually. Your generous support enables us to build that larger community of peace, justice, and love that Tony was just talking about. For those online, a contribution can be mailed to the address that's on the screen or by using our website at uunaples.org. We are truly grateful for all the gifts received.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all to thee we raise. This our hymn of grateful praise. For the beauty of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all to thee we raise. This our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, friends on earth and friends above, for all gentle thoughts and mild. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For each perfect gift of thine, unto us so freely give, graces human and divine, flower of earth and buds of heaven, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Thank you. There are worlds and worlds out there we do not know, not just circling some distant star, but here on earth. People who work against all selfishness and greed to feed the hungry, solve the problems of divided lands, heal the sick, teach the young. There are people who study the oceans, create clean energy, save rainforests, clean up rivers. They too look at the stars when they have time and hope, imagining a healthier world with much less sorrow and pain, one we could proudly leave to the generations who follow. Let us pray for them all. May we find inspiration in their efforts, and may our beautiful blue-green planet survive. Let's rise and sing together, for the earth forever turning.
1, 2. For the earth forever turning, for the skies, for every sea, for our lives, for all our cherished, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the mountains, hills, and pastures in their silent majesty, for the stars, for all the heavens, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the sun, for rain and thunder, for the seasons' harmony, for our lives, for all creation, sing we our joyful praise to thee. For the world we raise our voices, for the home that gives us birth. In our joy we sing, returning home to our blue-green hills of earth, to our blue-green hills of earth.
I remind you all of the simple little personal climate action plan that has been mailed this week in our emails. If you haven't done it already, now might be the time. Wendell Berry wrote, whether we or our politicians know it or not, nature is party to all our deals and decisions, and she has more votes, a longer memory, and a sterner sense of justice than we do. So let us go out into the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor our earth and all its creatures. Go in peace, love, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.